yeah, so Goldie signed my book, which was The Tangent. And then we were communicating with each other via our music, via Grooverider. He was going to Rage. Groove was coming up, playing at the Eclipse in Coventry at the time a lot. And that was for those who don't know, that was the first venue in the UK that had an 8 o'clock license.
Yeah.
It was groundbreaking. And it was in my home city. It was like, I always say to people...
Was that like your favourite venue?
It was important for me career-wise. It was an incredible venue. I mean, how they got an 8 o'clock license, I have no fucking idea. It was, to this day... I mean, it was run by gangsters, man. Do you know what I mean? It was run by really dodgy fucking guys.
Just mad he got away with that one.
But I say to people as well, you do need an element of luck in this business, in any business really. You know, you need to be in the right place at the right time. But the key is to realise you're in the right place at the right time and then maximise it. Do you know what I mean? So when, you know, like when I was playing at these Amnesia house parties in the 90s, and that put me on the map around the UK because people would come in there from up north, from down south, from all over England. So after doing those parties, and I was playing in Manchester and playing in Liverpool and playing in Leeds and everything, the one thing I couldn't crack was London, because London at that time was, if you weren't from London, you weren't playing.
You can make a bit of money out of all of those areas.
Oh yeah,
London is just like that.
But London for me was the one was where I wanted to play, man. Do you know what I mean? Because I wanted to, you know, I'd gone down to those places. And I felt like I deserved to be down there, but I knew
you're going to take a hit.
you need an in. Do you know what I mean? And that's where meeting Goldie really opened the door, because Goldie, when I first met Goldie in, I think, beginning of 1992, and it was just by chance. I mean, we'd been asking about each other via Groove. Groove was coming up to the Midlands, and every now and then I'd have the courage to go and ask him what a tune was, and he'd say, "Oh, it's this guy Goldie." And I'd say, "Who the fuck is Goldie?" And then when Groove was playing down south, and well, G didn't have a problem with it, he would go up and say, "Groove, what's his tune?" And be like, "Oh, it's this guy Doc Scott from Coventry." And be like, "What do you mean from Coventry?" And then one time I was in North London at Music Power Records, went in there to go and get some records, and Groove's in there, and I was like, "All right, G." And he's like, "I've got someone who wants to meet you," and that was Goldie.
Oh shit!
So it was just by chance, and so
yeah, is that how it happened?
That's exactly how it happened. And we met each other in Music Power, and like beginning of early '92, maybe
so before
even late
you didn't even connect the dots that it was.
I knew who he was, but
no, but like as in like in terms of living so close, you'd not cross paths.
No.
You had to be then with
yeah, and then so we got chatting, and we just like chatting, and he was like, "What are you doing, man?" And I was like, "Well, nothing. I was going to go back home." He was like, "Come back with me, man. Let's go to Rage," because it was a Thursday. I was like, "All right, cool, man. Fuck it, I'm not doing anything." Because I used to do my record shopping or cutting dubs on a Thursday, and then Friday, Saturdays DJing, Sundays, Sunday. And so I went back to his, and he was living in a Swiss cottage at the time. And we just talked and talked. And it was really weird, man, because I've never hit it off with anyone so quickly.
Like
you know what I mean?
Spark of...
Just like we were just, I don't know, we connected souls, man. But we're very, very opposite, man. Do you know what I mean? He's like a larger-than-life character. I'm a bit shy. I'm quite happy to be, you know, under the radar kind of thing. But we just kind of hit off because we just had this insane love of music, and an insane love of Grooverider, Fabio and Grooverider as well. And we were just excited about the same things, man. Do you know what I mean? So we went to Rage that night, dropped a couple of E's, had the time of our lives, went back to his, watched the sun come up, and that was it, man. We were like best friends from that day, from that 24-hour period.
How much moment do you hold of moments like that? What, like, you know, you romantically put, and so genteelly put, you watch the sun come up, and how, like does this connect with you on a spiritual level, in the fact that it was like so informative of a year, and being with him, being under the fucking sun.
Some things are meant to be, and I'm not like a religious person, or I wouldn't even say I'm a spiritual person. Although I have become more spiritual as I've got older, and my eyes, you know, as your eyes become wider.
Yeah. You've got no choice but to be spiritualized as you get older. It's like you've got no choice.
And then I told him that story. About a couple of weeks after that, I came down and with the book. And I said, "I'm going to tell you a story now, and it's going to fucking blow your mind." So I pulled out this book and I showed him his tag, and he was like, And I could see the confusion on his face. You know what I mean? He was like, well, how have you got this? I said, I came to see you in 1986 or 87, whenever this thing was. And the whole, the thing had gone full circle. I'd met him so this was 5 or 6 years before this moment. And it was a beautiful thing, man. And he just got in with Reinforced. I think he'd just done his first 12 on Reinforced. And that's, Reinforced were
big up Reinforced.
Massive love to Reinforced. My
whole beatbox drum and bass was because of their...
My spiritual home is Reinforced Records. It really is, man. When I first started making music in 91, my goal, I had 3 favorite labels: Suburban Bass, Reinforced, and there was another one I can't remember. Moving Shadow, probably.
Moving Shadow. Oh.
But out the 3 of them, I felt more of a connection and a draw towards Reinforced, and I just thought to myself, if I can get in there, that will be my gateway into London to DJ. And then once you get in there, then you've hopefully got to not fuck it up, and then you get invited back. And then. Goldie took me down to meet Mark and Digo, 4 Hero, and the
4 Hero, man. Oh geez, the legends.
I remember going down there and I couldn't even really speak. I was that kind of nervous and everything. And then I just made a few tunes that I thought might fit the label. So I went down there. This is only a few months after knowing Goldie, and went down there with a cassette of the original Here Come the Drums and something else. And so I went down to Dollis Hill. Goldie and Digo got in the car and we went to get some food. And I said, I've done this tune, have a listen, let me know what you think. So we're driving down Kilburn High Road, playing this thing. And I can't remember who said it. It was either Goldie or Digo said, stop the car. So I pulled over and they both got out and I thought, oh, fucking hell.
What have I done?
I've blown it, And they got in the...
I'll be driving home now.
And they both came back. The doors were still open. They both came back and they both popped their hip in. They were like, what are you doing? What is this? I was like, something I've been working on, something I've done. They were like, this has to be on Reinforced. And I was like, really? And they were like, this has to be on Reinforced. This has to be on Reinforced. And I was like, fucking, it's yours. You can have it. I've got 4 tracks here. And that was the first EP that was on Reinforced. And then I was there for 2 years making music. And those years, 92 to 94, were the most fun I ever had making music. And the most fun I ever had, well, wasn't the most fun, but getting on Reinforced opened the door to London. And then I could DJ in London. And then once I was in London, it was bliss, man. Do you know what I mean? Then I felt like I'd felt like I'd made it. And then so to be on then those lineups, playing alongside Fabio and Grooverider in London was just like
breathtaking. Just what?
But it was like, when you have any kind of goal, whatever it is, whether it be, to get signed to a label, to design a new jacket, or whatever it is, man. When you achieve a goal that sometimes you didn't think was achievable, it was huge, man. I was so fucking happy.
It sounds to me like you pinpointed it. You went in you moved in a way that it was so specific. The lane, you went there.
I kind of knew.
You took it to the mountain.
I kind of knew, like I say, at the time, it was very, very difficult to DJ in London if you weren't from London, because they just had so many good DJs, man. I mean, it was like a closed shop. It wasn't anything like, they had a personal thing from people that were up from North or wherever. We're just like, why should we book this guy from the Midlands when we've got 20 fantastic DJs down here, man? Do you know what I mean?
So you had to have a breakthrough tune. You had to have something with.
I had to get a foot in the door. Do you know what I mean? And then there was this promotion called what were they called? I think they were called Elevation, or maybe it's Club Elevation. I can't remember. And then that was one of the first times I played in London. They had a club on Shaftesbury Avenue, which is where Movement used to be.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And then I remember I was so nervous, man. So I got invited.
I was a kid at this point. Everything was so misty and.
And then I got invited to play there, and I was so nervous because I knew, probably wouldn't get a second chance. Do you know what I mean? So you knew you had to go down there and just play the best set you could possibly get. And thankfully, played a cool set. And then what was cool was there were loads of people in. Like Paul from Ibiza Records was in there. One of the guys from Living Dream Records was in there. So all of a sudden, I got connected to all this whole world, and then started getting dub plates from there. And then
It's cool as shit.
Oh man, you know.